They found him sitting quietly in his favorite chair, the television still murmuring in the background. At first glance, everything looked peaceful. No struggle, no warning, just stillness. But to anyone who understands the truth about men's health, it wasn't peace, it was a silent collapse. The kind that sneaks in over the years when vitality fades and no one notices until it's too late. What made it most tragic was that it didn't have to happen. Every year, thousands of men slip quietly into the same decline, believing it's simply part of growing old, when in reality, it's often the result of choices they never realized were slowly costing them their strength, their energy, and even their independence. If you're a man over 50, or perhaps in your 60s, what I'm about to share might feel uncomfortable, maybe even unsettling, but it may be one of the most important conversations you'll ever have about your own health. For decades, men have been told to hide, avoid, or even feel ashamed of a natural act, something that could actually help protect their prostate, balance hormones, and keep their circulation alive. Instead, many give it up quietly, believing it's noble, mature, or virtuous, but what they don't realize is that in doing so, they open the door to weakness, low energy, and preventable suffering. This isn't about indulgence. It's about biology, the very systems that keep a man vital as he ages. I've seen countless men, retired workers, veterans, farmers, teachers, and grandfathers who believed they were doing the right thing by giving up all forms of intimacy with themselves. But time and again, I've seen that this single decision triggers a slow chain reaction. Erections weaken, testosterone drops, the prostate becomes congested, and emotionally, something deep within them begins to dim. The decline doesn't shout, it whispers. It's a little less strength in the morning, a little less confidence at night, a quiet change in how you see yourself, until one day, you realize that spark that once defined you is fading and you can't even remember when it disappeared. That's why this message matters. Because today, you're going to hear the truth about what really happens when older men stop giving their bodies the natural attention they were designed to have. We'll uncover 4 very real health consequences that unfold when this vital system is neglected, truths backed by research and reinforced by decades of experience. And more importantly, you'll learn simple, natural steps to restore vitality, energy, and confidence. These aren't dangerous treatments or expensive pills. They're practical, proven habits that have helped men in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s feel alive again. And the final point we'll discuss, one most people never hear, could quietly triple your risk of prostate issues if ignored. That's why I urge you to stay with me until the end, because what you'll learn could change the way you see your health and your future. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. Type 1 in the comments if you believe men deserve honest, shame-free answers about their health. Type 0 if you're skeptical but open-minded. Either way, your voice matters. This isn't just a lecture, it's a conversation. And by the time we're done, you'll understand why maintaining one simple, natural act might be the key to keeping your body strong, your hormones balanced, and your spirit alive. I've seen this story countless times. A man in his late 60s walks into my office looking uneasy, embarrassed. Something has changed, but he can't explain what. He hasn't had a spontaneous erection in months, sometimes years. His mornings feel dull, his nights are empty. The hardest part isn't the physical loss, it's the suddenness. He feels like something inside him just stopped working. And then I explain what most men have never been told. When you stop stimulating your body, you don't just pause that function, you begin to lose it. Think about it like a muscle. If you stopped walking for 6 months, your legs would weaken, your balance would fade, your coordination would suffer. The same thing happens to your intimate system. When blood no longer circulates properly, when oxygen doesn't reach the tissue, when that system goes unused, it begins to atrophy. Fibrosis, scar-like stiffness can set in, nerves lose sensitivity, blood vessels narrow, and by the time most men notice, the change is already difficult to reverse. Society has long told men that avoiding pleasure is noble, that restraint is strength. But the truth is, your body doesn't stop needing circulation after 60. It needs it even more. Without it, you lose not only performance, but confidence. You lose the quiet, powerful energy that once made you feel like yourself. And when that fades, it affects everything: your mood, your relationships, even the way you walk through the world. But that's just the first consequence. The second is far more invisible and far more dangerous. It has to do with hormones, specifically testosterone. Every man expects his levels to drop with age, but what many don't realize is how quickly that decline accelerates when intimacy disappears completely. Many men in their 50s and 60s come in saying they no longer feel like themselves. They wake up tired. They've lost their drive, their motivation, their edge. Their muscles soften, their bones weaken, and their mood darkens. When we test their levels, their testosterone isn't just loose crashing. And often, it's not because of age alone, but because of inactivity. When testosterone plummets, the effects ripple through the body. Energy dwindles, heart health suffers, immunity weakens, mood declines. It's not just about performance, it's about life force. Testosterone fuels drive, purpose, and resilience. It's what helps a man wake up ready to face the world. When you stop all activity that naturally supports it, you hand away one of your greatest tools for healthy aging. And here's the third consequence, perhaps the most quietly destructive of all: prostate stagnation. When men give up all forms of release, circulation to the prostate slows. Fluids that are meant to move regularly begin to build up. This congestion creates pressure, inflammation, and discomfort over time. Men begin to experience frequent urination, nighttime awakenings, and an achy heaviness in the lower body that won't go away. Left unchecked, it can contribute to larger prostate issues later in life. This isn't about indulgence, it's about biology. The prostate is designed to be active, not stagnant. Gentle, regular release helps maintain fluid turnover and circulation. Neglecting it doesn't preserve health, it undermines it. And then comes the fourth consequence: the emotional toll. When that spark fades, when a man stops feeling alive in his own body, something inside him changes. He grows quieter, less confident, less connected to himself and to others. It's a slow dimming of identity, not just energy. And it's one of the most painful losses a man can experience, not because it's visible, but because it touches the very core of who he is. So, what can you do right now to protect yourself? You don't need expensive pills or complex therapies. You need small, consistent actions that restore circulation, strengthen your hormones, and rebuild confidence. The first is simple: reintroduce healthy, respectful self-stimulation. For many older men, it feels awkward at first, burdened by outdated shame. But think of it differently, not as pleasure, but as maintenance. Once or twice a week is enough to keep blood flowing, tissue healthy, and nerves alert. Consider it physical therapy for one of your most important systems. You'd never ignore your heart or your lungs. Don't ignore the system that connects to your circulation, your hormones, and your sense of vitality. The second step is daily movement. Even light exercise, walking, stretching, bodyweight exercises keeps blood vessels open and circulation strong. Think of your body like a garden hose. If water stops flowing, pressure builds, debris settles, and the hose stiffens. The same happens inside your body. Movement keeps things fluid. It brings oxygen, nutrients, and life to every cell, including those that support your prostate and sexual health. The third step: hydration. Most men don't realize how many of their symptoms are worsened by simple dehydration. When your blood thickens, your circulation slows. The result: fatigue, poor performance, and slower recovery. Sip water throughout the day. Think of it as oil for your engine. It keeps everything running smoothly. Fourth, pay attention to what you eat. Some foods support circulation and testosterone naturally: pomegranates, walnuts, spinach, pumpkin seeds, olive oil, and fish rich in omega-3 south. These are packed with antioxidants, zinc, and nitric oxide precursors that help the body function optimally. At the same time, cut back on processed sugar, alcohol, and fried foods. They damage the very vessels and hormones you need to stay strong. One man I worked with made a few simple changes: replaced his nightly beer with pomegranate juice, added pumpkin seeds to his breakfast, and walked every evening. Within 2 weeks, his energy improved, his mood lifted, and his confidence returned. And finally, remove the shame. If guilt controls you, you'll avoid the habits that could save your health. Think of it as daily hygiene, not indulgence. This isn't about youth, it's about longevity, strength, and maintaining the parts of you that make you feel truly alive. Now ask yourself, do you believe these small habits, hydration, movement, nutrition, and respectful self-care can protect your health after 50? Type 1 if you're ready to take action. Type 0 if you're still unsure. Because the next steps are about long-term strength, building the foundation for the decades ahead. Short-term fixes can spark improvement, but long-term consistency builds resilience. Think of your body like a house. A coat of paint can make it look good for a season, but if the foundation weakens, everything collapses. The same goes for your health. If you want to thrive into your 70s and beyond, you must build a foundation of strength, circulation, and hormonal balance. One of the most powerful long-term strategies is resistance training. You don't need a gym or heavy weights. Simple movements, squats, push-ups against a wall, light dumbbells, or resistance bands send a powerful signal to your brain. Keep producing hormones, keep the muscles strong, keep the engine running. Research shows men who maintain muscle strength as they age enjoy higher testosterone, better circulation, and stronger mental health than those who don't. Muscles aren't just for looks, they're your body's hormone factory. Another key is regular intimacy, whether shared or solo. I've seen men in their 70s maintain confidence and energy simply because they never let that system go dormant. One patient, a 72-year-old teacher, told me he felt decades younger after reintroducing self-care, light exercise, and balanced nutrition. His energy returned, his mood lifted, even his posture changed. He said, "I feel like myself again." That's not vanity, that's vitality. Nutrition remains the foundation. Foods rich in healthy fats like olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish support hormones. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower help balance estrogen and protect the prostate. Zinc-rich foods, pumpkin seeds, beans, shellfish support testosterone production. It's not about chasing miracle foods. It's about consistency, fueling your body daily with what it truly needs. Think of your vitality like a fire. When you're young, it burns strong, even when you neglect it. But as you age, that fire needs tending. If you stop adding logs, it dies out. If you add damp, wood-poor diet, inactivity, shamit, smolders. But if you feed it the right fuel, exercise, nutrition, self-care, hydration, it burns bright again, offering warmth and strength even in later years. Your body works the same way. The flame never dies on its own, it only fades when you stop feeding it. And now, let's look at the full picture. When men stop honoring this part of their health, the chain reaction is predictable. First comes loss of function, circulation slows, tissues weaken, sensitivity fades. Then comes hormonal decline, less energy, less drive, less protection for the heart and brain. Next comes prostate congestion, pressure, discomfort, restless nights. And finally, the emotional hollowing, the quiet loss of confidence, identity, and connection that changes everything. These aren't minor issues, they're life-changing. But the truth is simple. Decline is not inevitable. Neglect is. With knowledge and small, steady action, you can reclaim what time has dimmed. I've seen it in countless men who thought it was too late until they began to care for their bodies again and discovered that strength, energy, and vitality were waiting just beneath the surface. Start small. Reintroduce healthy self-care. Move daily. Eat wisely. Stay hydrated. Remove shame. You don't need to apologize for protecting your health. This isn't indulgence, it's maintenance. It's life itself. In the end, what most men fear isn't aging, it's irrelevance. It's losing the spark that makes them feel like themselves. But the truth is, that spark is still there. Your body still remembers. Your mind still longs for connection. Your health is waiting for you to show up. Every man deserves to feel alive, strong, and confident no matter his age. That includes you. So, if this message resonates, type 1-2, let me know you're ready to take back your strength. If you're skeptical, type 0 and share your thoughts. Either way, your voice matters, because this is a conversation every man deserves, without shame, without fear. If you found value here, subscribe and share this with another man who needs to hear it. And remember, this message is for education, not prescription. Always talk to your doctor before making changes. Above all, don't give up on yourself. The spark isn't gone. It's waiting for you to reignite it.